Intro to cylinders. My standard is solving real-world and mathematical problems involving volumes of cylinder, cones, and spheres. Specifically, for this lesson, we're going to do surface area of cylinders. And so we'll leave a note right now. Make sure you get a piece of paper, a pen or pencil, like this, a piece of paper so you can write down these notes. And let's get started. All right, let's start with a warm-up, right? I'll give you a couple of seconds to do it, but let's read the warm-up first. Warm-up, find the area of the shapes. We have a circle with radius 4, and we have a square with side lengths 2 and 7. And so I'll give you about a minute to figure out what the areas of these shapes are, right? All right, welcome back. To find area of a circle, right, we can use the equation, which is pi r squared, right? Just give me a second to remember because area is sometimes weird, right? We know r is 4, so we plug it in. We'll have pi times 4 squared. 4 squared is 16, so we have 16 pi, right? And for the square, the way to find area is you multiply your lengths together. You multiply 2 and 7, and 2 times 7 is equal to 14, right? We're not using units in this one, but if there was units, you just need to write unit squared, okay? So now we're going to actually go into what we're actually going to do, which is surface area. So surface area is basically, so these are examples of nets. Surface areas are, we're going to be unfurling a 3D shape into a net, which is just the shapes like this. So a cube, right? It's composed of 6 squares, okay? And so you will have 6 squares, and to find the surface area, you would find the areas of each individual square and add them together. For example, this square was 2 inches on the side, and the square was also 2 because it's a square. We'll have 4 because that's the total area of the square, because 2 times 2. We'll have 4 6 times. Add these up together, we have a surface area of 24. Similarity, we have a pyramid, right? A pyramid is made of either, it can be a triangular pyramid or it can be a square, but we're going to do a square pyramid. We have a square pyramid, so we have a base that is a square and the sides which are triangles. And so to find the area of this, we have to find the area of the triangles first, and then we'll add it to the square. Okay. Similarly, we'll also have it for a triangular prism. So this is just basic examples of nets. Okay. And so now I'm going to pause for a second and let you guys answer this question. What do you think the net would be for a cylinder? Right. I'll give you a minute. Please tell me what you think about, and let's wait. All right. So the net of a cylinder, right? We know what a cylinder looks like, right? It's like a soda can, right? This is a rough picture, right? And so one of the things that we can see of a cylinder is that this circle, we will have 2 circles because it's a top and bottom, so it's a lid, right? So we have 2 circles. And so this middle part of the can, right? If you unwrap like a Pringles can, it would actually become a rectangle. So you guys drew like a net like this, then you would be correct. And so one of the most important things for this net of cylinders that we would also know, so we would need to find the area of this circle first and the area of this circle first, right? What we'll be given is always the height, but we also need to figure out what this length is. And so on our example, I'll show you how to find that length, and then we'll find the net of, or not the net, we'll find the surface area of a cylinder, okay? And so this is a cylinder, right? We have radius 5 and height 4. So the question is, let's find the surface area of a cylinder. So when r is radius, right? Maybe for a question, you might get diameter, and so diameter is 2 times the radius, but for this case, we don't have that. And the height of the can is 4, okay? And so let's draw the net to find the surface area of a cylinder. Right? Like this. So let's go find the areas of a circle first, right? We know the radius is 5, right? And so using our previous examples, we know the area of a circle is pi r squared. So we'll area, I'll do this little c right here. So area of circle will equal to pi r squared, right? We know we have 5 as r, so 5 squared times pi. This is just rearranging. 5 squared is 25. So we have 25 pi, right? I'm just not going to multiply it out, but if you want to, you can just multiply it out, but I'm going to leave it like this. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. Okay? So now going back to our picture, we know that the height of this rectangle is 4, right? But what is this length right here? We have no clue. And so one of the things that you need to know is that when you're unfurling a can, right, this length will be exactly the circumference of the circle, okay? And if you need a reminder, circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, okay? I'll give you a second. Let's see if you can answer what is the circumference of the circle, right? Moving back, the circumference of the circle is just, you just plug in 5 to 2 pi r, okay? So we will go the circumference of this, we'll just write circumference as c, right? 2 pi r will equal to 2 pi times 5. And so we're just going to multiply 5 and 2. So we have 10 pi, and that's the length right here. That's our length, right? And then we just multiply. We'll move area of square, or area of rectangle, right? This is actually a rectangle. Area of the rectangle would be 4 times 10 pi, which equals to 40 pi, right? And so now you have all these areas up here, right? You can add those areas up. So we have 2 circles, right? And so the area is 25 pi. So 25 pi plus 25 pi, right? And then we add the area of the rectangle. And when you use your calculator, which I don't want to grab mine, but we have 25 plus 25, that's 50, plus 40, that's 90 pi. And you can multiply this out, but if you do, go ahead. But this would be the answer. This would be your final answer for surface area. And so using all these steps, you would use this to find the surface area of this cylinder right now, right? Find the surface area of this cylinder. This has diameter 10 and height 7. Okay, so that means the diameter is this full length right here, or right here, is exactly 10, and the height right here is exactly 7. Okay, and so I'll give you 2-3 minutes, solve it on your own, and then we'll solve it back. All right, and so what would you get if you were to draw? So let's just draw just the shapes individually, right? Instead of just drawing the full thing together, the full net, let's just solve for areas first, okay? So I'm going to bring in a separate sheet of paper because I want us to have this on the side, right? Okay. Let's find the area of a circle first. We know that diameter is 10, right? And we know the diameter is equal to 2r. So let's plug it in. 10 equals 2r divided by 2, right? We get r equals 5. And so now we know radius is 5. We can now find the area of the circle. So pi r squared AC. That will mean that we have pi times 5 squared, which is exactly equal to 25 pi. Hey, look, it's the same thing as our last example, right? And so what you would notice is that you could use the same formula we did last time, but let's go do it again. It's better to have repetition, right? So let's go find the circumference, right? C is equal to 2 pi r, right? So that's the circumference of the circle, and from our work right here, right, we'll have 2 pi times 5, which equals to 10 pi, right? That is the circumference of the circle, right? And so now we're on to the last bit, which is we're going to find the square, right? We know the height is 7. We know the circumference is 10 pi. We can multiply these together. So area of rectangle, sorry, rectangle square, I say it interchangeably, but that's my fault. Please refer to as a rectangle. 7 times 10 is 70. This pi is in for the ride. We have 70 pi. And now we start adding it up. 25 pi plus 25 pi plus 70 pi. We would get 50 plus 70, that's 120. 120 pi. That's a whole lot of pi. So that is how you find the surface area of a cylinder. And so next week, or not next week's, but the next lesson after this will be how to find the area of a cylinder, or find the volume of a cylinder.